Truth about lying. The reality twister. A lie is one of the most powerful, non-physical acts of cruelty, oppression, and robbery that one person can do to another. The power of a lie is a moving, growing infection that continues to cause harm and mislead with no intended stopping point. The only thing that can stop the momentum of a lie is the truth about that lie, and that truth will have to be told to every person that the lie was told to before it could even begin to scratch the surface of stopping the damage of a lie. And even if it does stop the lie from spreading, the truth still cannot repair the massive damage that was already caused by the lie. Destroyed relationships, misleading information, improper responses, unjust punishments, and even unrighteous deaths. Infected disease spreader. The mission of the lie is to mislead the person that it is aimed at astray to a place or idea where he or she will not only be lost to self and others with his or her only reality being the lie that the liar told them. The person who lies to another person is making an attack on that person's productivity, reputation, time, intelligence, integrity, innocence, safety, and possibly even life, depending on where the lie will lead to. The person who easily lies to others and walks away comfortably without shame or any concern for the people that he or she lied to is a person of extreme selfishness, arrogance, and deceit with no compassion or even consideration for those who he or she lies to. The liar believes he is and tries to make himself God over those who he lies to. He believes deep in his or her heart that he has a divine right to control the lives and thoughts of others with untruths. And yes, this is the position that we all presume when we lie to someone. It is the ultimate narcissistic behavior. That's really important to understand. People lie and people excuse liars too much. When we choose to lie to someone, we've all lied. I've lied to people, okay? And as I get through this, you're going to learn about my lies, okay? And we all will choose to lie at times, but when we choose to lie to someone, that is a moment of total disrespect towards them. That is a moment of total uncare for them. Even if it is a white lie, unless that lie at that moment is going to save their life or something. And, the term white lie, that's bull crap. I'm saying? A lie is a lie. But even if it's going to say we still are not we're choosing to take away their freedom of choice. And that's what you're doing. We're taking away someone's free will when we lie to them. No matter what the lie is that we tell them. And no matter how we justify through our own self-righteousness that we had the right and the reason to lie to them. That is what we're doing. Now, having said that, of course, some of us tease and joke, like you'll say, well, why do we lie about, such certain things to our kids for fun when they're children? Well, that's different, playing pretend. Me saying that this fable character exists that really doesn't exist, so my child to have fun is no different than me playing fake tea party with it. There really isn't tea in this teacup, but we're pretending it is. So that's just fun, that's pretend, just like letting them watch a cartoon and then believe that SpongeBob is real. We know SpongeBob is real, but I don't need to sit down and go through this whole thing. So that is different in playing pretend, even though it still is considered a lie. And there is a level of disrespect towards our children because we feel they're children. I don't have to tell them the truth. We can tell them whatever we want to. But there becomes a point when that child starts becoming an adult where you better stop lying to them because they're going to figure it out on their own and then they're going to lose all the respect for you. Okay? Casualties of a secret war. Lies behave like poison poured into the well of a town that no one knows about except the person who poisoned it. This is basically what one does when they tell a lie. They taint the integrity of the word of everyone that they lie to, then leave them to venture out and spread the infection to non-suspecting others. Lying is a plague that will infect a whole community, town, and even country without anyone ever even knowing that the lie is what they are all currently functioning off of. I know I don't need to explain how that affects our countries. Something be said to a TV camera that's not true, and everybody starts to fight each other over it. And if you even knew that what you were told wasn't even true, you feel like a moron fighting about it. So we have to keep our minds open of how infectious a lie is when it spreads. Mankind's unified sellout. The confusing effects and harm that lies quickly cause have been overlooked and even ignored in modern times. This is because too many people know that they lie when it suits them best, so they avoid the subject when they can. A silent, unofficial agreement has massively formed that makes it okay to lie if you don't get caught or if you profit greatly from it. Lying has become so regular that people who don't lie can never catch up to or compete with the dishonest schemes of the masses of liars who keep quiet about liars and lie for each other. The institutions of lying. Organizations, literatures, and followings have been formed around lies that are insisted daily upon the people to believe and promote or be alienated, ridiculed, excommunicated, abandoned, physically harmed, and at times even killed. Institutions have been developed to teach lies to people to pass on, and those who agree to pass on these lies are rewarded with titles, materialism, and rewarding access that people who don't help spread the lies won't receive. There are even payment systems that pay billions of dollars out to people who push and live the lies that they are told to push and live. Civilians are conditioned to induct themselves into these systems and proudly promote these lies without ever questioning the information that they are pushing to everyone that they claim to respect and love. In fact, masses of the people who even know they are following a lie will unite against the people who aren't lying to destroy them so they all can continue to live their lie. And they will justify these lies with morality. Business tool free to all. In the modern civilization of business and service, lying has been labeled as and accepted as strategy. Many of the people who we are supposed to be able to trust to do business with are doing all that they can to give us less and take more while pissing down our backs and telling us that it's raining. Those who operate as such may choose to clear their conscience with reasoning such as, I'm just doing my job, or I got a family to feed. Power to alter the truth. Before I start on that, I'm gonna go over that one there. That's an important one. Business tool free to all. If you ever hear somebody saying, I'm just doing my job, and using that as an excuse to do wrong, come on, man, wake up. Or man, I got a family to feed, or I'm just trying to get mine. Don't stay away from that person. That person will burn you at any moment to gain something for themselves. They're telling you right there, I will burn you to feed my family. I will burn you to do my job. I will burn. Nothing we do should ever stand above our personal morality. If we know something wrong, I don't care if it's my job to open fire and you tell me to smoke this newborn baby, I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? You should have the sense that that's something that you don't do. That's a tension with our own morality. So people who are lying because it's a part of their personal progress in life so they can have their big house, their car, their job, their title, whatever it is, that's horrible. And that means they have no respect for the people who they're lying to and none for themselves. Power to alter the truth. Lies are very powerful. A lie can save you from an ass whooping, imprisonment, or even death. A lie can acquire you something that you didn't earn or someone that you don't deserve. A lie can empower you to inconvenience or harm a person or a group of people that you never would have been able to affect without that lie. And most of all, a lie can make you appear as if you are someone that you aren't, such as a trustworthy person of integrity and selflessness instead of a big fat liar. A lie can transform you into whoever you want to be besides who you truly are. Lies make things easy and rewarding for all of those who use it, and lies make things harder and almost impossible for those who don't. I ask people all the time and say, can people who don't cheat beat people who do? And you hear a lot of people, oh yeah, sure, in the long run, that's great. Sounds awesome, but this is true. If I'm allowed to cheat at chess and you're not, I'm more than likely going to beat you. And that goes same thing with the game of life. And lies are cheating. So it's hard to defeat people who constantly lie because they build this false world around you and they misguide you and misdirect you while they know the truth and they're over here, gaining for themselves. So just remember that the lie is magical and it changes things. It creates a false image, a false, something that you follow. And the people who, it's hard to catch up to them, man. So you have to really be careful and discover who's lying around you and put them in a position where you don't follow them, you don't go with them, or else they're going to lead you astray. Okay. Playing dress up. A lie is the magic wand of the liar that allows them to manipulate and alter the reality of the people that they lie to. Liars justify their acts of lying by saying that the lie is either harmless or that the gain is so big that it's okay to tell a lie to gain it. Liars who pretend to set standards of integrity to limit their lives are lying to themselves and even believe in it. The massive harm and confusion that lies cause must once again be understood and at least cautioned, or liars will continue to be evil gods over the honest. Cross my heart, hope to lie. If you have stuck with me this far, I'm glad you have, because now things are going to get complex, interesting, and hypocritical as I reveal some truths about myself and lying that can expose some of my personal vulnerabilities. But since I am who I am, I must follow through for the sake of education and the development of the personal safety of my readers from liars. I promise not to lie to you. Bound by truth. I follow the warrior's path best as I can in all that I do. I have sworn my life and death to the service and protection of the integrity of all honorable codes of our ancestral warriors that serve, protect, and guide mankind. Integrity, bravery, and selflessness are highlighted character traits demanded in most, if not all, of the codes that I follow. Therefore, an act of me lying to any person to either save myself or gain for myself will be a direct violation of at least one of the three values that I follow to define myself and my way of life. Not for sale. To lie to someone to save myself would be an act of cowardice, betraying the value of bravery. To lie to someone so I can gain for myself or my family will be an act of greed and selfishness, betraying the value of selflessness. And the act of lying alone would be dishonest and a betrayal of the value of my integrity. The cost for me to participate productively in the game of lies would be the sacrifice of who I am and who I claim to be. The values that I swear by never allow me to lie, except to an enemy. Hypocrite? Wait for it. So here goes one of those types of situations that I was just bitching about at the beginning of this writing. Everyone finds a good reason that excuses them to use the strength of lying when they want to. Is that what this is for me? As a warrior, I have every right and even a duty to fight against the efforts and doers of ill intent at any time by any means necessary except through the harming of innocence. Principle above winning. This is a sample of the infecting power of the lie. For the honest person to stand against a liar, he has to be absolved to lie if needed to combat their lies. Well, I will admit to you in this reading that I personally have yet to ever have been in a situation with anyone who made me feel as if I needed to lie to defeat or be safe from them. However, if a person ever enters my life who positions me to feel pressure to have to lie, I will first explore my many other options of bringing that person's threat towards me to a swift, crippling stop that could never again be revived. I would burden myself deeply and exhaust all of my remedies to shut down with extreme prejudice this person who positioned me to feel that I may possibly need to compromise and insult the purity of treasured traditional morals assigned by gods and obeyed by the greatest of men, just so I can acquire the little advantage to get this person who I can't get through my own efforts. I don't think so. Lying would be my surrender to my slithering lying enemy through becoming a liar like him. It would be my very last resort and a very dangerous place for me to be personally, because then what other rules would I need to follow? Why not break more codes of morality to get the outcome that I want? Heck, why not break them to get rich? People do it every day. I mean, poverty is definitely my enemy. Sure do. I could finagle a way to justify it with a lie. And this is what we all do when we use a lie to get what we want, regardless of what it is that we want. So as you can see, I'm expressing how powerful a lie is, that we all can justify a reason to have to use it. And always remember this, that's a heavy chapter, because I know some people, I'm gonna lose some viewers over that, and I'm gonna say this: if you are somebody who I'm about to lose because you feel I've exposed you to yourself as a liar, you definitely need to stay with me. If that made you mad, that means you are admitting to yourself about where you've been lying to yourself, which that's the awesome self-discovery right there. However, we all have to be able to look at that. But if we look at what we're trying to gain, through a lie, and look at what we're losing, just like I say with me, my warrior code or my values define who I am. They define my life. They define where I plan for my soul to travel when I cross over. So Well, when I tell a lie to someone, which means I was afraid, that's cowardly for me to have to lie to someone. I'm showing no respect. I have no more compassion for them. All these things that I'm against for mankind is destructive to mankind. I'm for mankind's productivity, not destructiveness. And I'm just doing it just for my personal gain. I'm surrendering all of that so I can make this lie. So before I choose to surrender all of that, I need to look at other things I can do to bring this person and their threat to a complete total halt before I sell out my own personal integrity. So if you keep your mindset there, then you won't, use lies in this infectious, diseased passing way that people just automatically use it like it's nothing and don't even look behind them after they use it to see what kind of destruction they cause. And I've watched people who live their lives like that, and I watch them 5, 10, 15, 20. They're miserable because lies eat you from the inside. They rot you. It's like, say, it's disease. And the main person it gets is the person who's telling a lie, and it rots them out. You see them 15 years later, and they're just, they look like they're dying. And they're depressed. They don't know who they are or even where they are. And I've seen people like that who live in $1 million mansions, and they just lied their way to the top, and they just can't take it. So even if, we've all made mistakes, we all continuously will make mistakes. So I'm not trying to judge or condemn anyone with this chapter. What I'm trying to do is just help you to realize and see. And if you're somebody who may have lied your way all the way to the top, you can say, okay, I see what I did. It's just like someone like me. I went to prison for 6 years, and I took that and I changed my life. I turned myself around and I bettered myself, but I always have that to reflect on. The fact of what I did, which was, it was a crime of armed robbery, so there's no confusion on what it was. And I reflect back on it. I look and say, well, Jermaine, what if one of them would have made a wrong move? You could have shot and killed somebody. What if one of those people are traumatized right now by what you did? So me admitting to my mistakes doesn't make me a bad person where I say, oh, you know what, screw them, man. I had the right to rob. America was built on armed robbery. How many times people rob me? The taxpayers rob us, tax collectors rob us all the time. I don't make excuses like that. I say, okay, that's not who I wanted to be. I didn't want to hurt other people. So I'm going to make sure I don't do that again. And I created a way from nothing, from coming out of prison, homeless, with no money, instead of going right back, picking up the gun, hooking up with my homeboys, making $7,000 a week, being a knock-around guy, whatever it is, falling back to the crime community. I went from zero, became a janitor, started off as a janitor, and worked for a moving company, and held my integrity. And next thing you know, I became, a Hall of Famer, world champion, a trainer of law enforcement, bodyguard trainer, international traveling personal bodyguard, author, speaker, all the things that I became because I looked at what I did wrong. So if this chapter hits you, don't run from it. If it hits you, that's good. That's awesome, man. That means you're being honest with yourself. Don't let that spirit die. Take a hold of it. Just grab a hold, and it will help you to battle, and you're going to do way, way better for it. Trust me. I live by integrity. And it is like a shield that keeps all the bull crap away from me. And I can see through people and see through the activity, see through intentions. I'll read something so quick. Oh, man, come on, look at this. Who's gaining from this? Blah, 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 this. And it's like nothing because my thoughts are not clouded with lies and delusions and false things. It's clouded with, it's filled with facts, reality, stuff that gets proven. All right?